So just showing this program which will tell you the velocity of rotation of a potentiometer. So what I've got here is the UART communication, so we can actually see what the values are. Then we have the demand value, and we calculate speed. So speed is calculated from that value, which is the demand, minus the previous value, which I've called previous demand. It then sends that number as speed to the communication with a return character /n. And then the last thing it does before the delay is say that the previous demand is equal to demand. That's a clever bit. So that says now the previous value is equal to what the current value is. It delays for 1 second and then loops around the whole thing again to receive demand. So now previous demand is the demand but 1 second ago. So that way you can calculate speed. Speed is the previous value and the current value, or the current value minus the previous value, and then divided by time. Now, since we're waiting for 1 second anyway, then we don't have to do any kind of division. So let's see this in operation. So I'll just move on to the UART output so we can just see it's at 0 at the moment. So what we've got is the potentiometer, which is connected to the control rig. So I can turn this potentiometer and we will see a value of speed. What I'm going to do is just move this potentiometer next to the screen. You can just see some values going. Okay, we'll just let I think the values are at the bottom of the fresh ones. So it's 0 at the moment to maybe a little bit of noise. As I start to turn this potentiometer in one direction, you can see that the speed is going up. If I stop it, then it goes back down to 0. If I move it in the other direction, what's the speed going to be, positive or negative? So I'm going to move it anti-clockwise this time. So you can see that the value is a negative value. If I move it very quickly, this number should be quite high. So let's move it very fast. So there we go, 316. Now it's not calibrated to anything. We can always worry about calibration later. It's just simply telling me how I can find out what the speed of something is. So that's quite handy for speed of rotation. It doesn't have to be rotation, it could be translation as well. We could be reading a wheel sensor so we know the velocity of a car, for example.